Well, around a year ago, I made a review of the latest, at the time, season of Solar Opposites. This video kinda sucks now, looking back at it, so I just recap it for ya. Back then, I came to a conclusion that the show manages to stand apart from its older brother Rick and Morty by not trying to even remotely be smart with the main characters, letting the comedic stupidity that I felt has slowly disappeared from Rick and Morty thrive in this show. Every episode felt like the writers were just having fun and doing stupid bullshit as they go. And it was somehow mixed with a great, mature, completely serious subplot about the wall, featuring great creative writing, taking advantages of the part of this wall that it's shrink down and shit, absolutely stellar voice acting, wonderful and cinematic score, and well choreographed action scenes, yeah, that's the thing. And with the show supposedly getting better and better by the season, I was ready to see the show going on forever, surpassing Rick and Morty in the episode count someday. Few months later, it was announced that the next season will be their last. Fuck. I can't have good things in life, I guess. So now, in a distant future, I came to answer the question that I'm sure you asked. Did the Solar Opposites final season stick the landing? Well, it was a bizarre season to say the least, so let's just get into it, shall we? So, similar to my previous video on the show, I'm gonna talk about the show's subplots and review them individually, starting with the main Solar's plots. Solar's plot. Yeah. So, do I think that the show kept improving and that the Solar's plot was better than last season's? Well, I don't think it's on the same quality, but I wouldn't really call it better. But would I call it bad? Well, of course not, I just said it's the same quality as the last few seasons that I praised, you stupid moron. I might prefer season 5, and one of the reasons for it is because that season had so much variety. It felt like it was experimenting with 3 subplots at once, episodes like the Intervention one or the Looney Tunes parody. It just felt very fresh, and this season, for the most part, had just regular ass episodes, which, while still funny and great, made me wish that we could see experiment them more. There was one exception for this, which I'll get into later. This season did an interesting thing with Solars though. In a classic Solar Opposites fashion, the cliffhanger from last season gets immediately resolved, and we are back to more bullshit after that. Though I do think this is like the best way they followed up on a cliffhanger in the show so far. I mean, not so far, this is the final season. But at the end of the episode, the status quo is changed. During an epic fight, they accidentally destroyed every one of their sci-fi money-making machines, meaning that they are broke as fuck now. And in the next episode, they are forced to sell most of their sci-fi stuff to get money, and then the rest of season is actually about Solars trying to make more money and their journey with it. And it's actually pretty serialized, which I wasn't really expecting, but it was pretty nice to see them do that. Made this season stand out from the others more. Them selling their old sci-fi stuff plot point didn't really make that plot less sci-fi that much. They were still making stupid bullshit, which I like. It wouldn't be Solar Opposites without it. But I do think that because of that serialization, even if the season stands out more, I don't think the episodes themselves do much, unfortunately. It makes me think of them, of these episodes, as just part of season 6, not their own thing. Except a few episodes that, that I would talk about later. I don't think it's that big of a deal. These episodes are still fun and funny, and that's what matters the most, right? But I think that this season stands out the most in their 5th episode, the Family Memories VHS mixtape, which might generally be my favorite episode of the whole show. It starts with the Solars fighting over who created some stupid fucking bullshit catchphrase, and Pupa got sad because they were fighting and went to the attic, where he is confronted by Aisha, telling him to watch a VHS of different family memories, and most of them is just the family fighting. So this episode, for the most part, is an anthology, which I usually don't like, especially when they're just telling 3 stories, but instead it's a compilation of little shorts that are like a minute long, so it's a clip show. And they might be one of the funniest things the show has ever done. So many jokes in this stuck so much to me, and I think them about a lot. They're so fucking stupid. It's absurdity and stupidity of the show at its absolute peak. It works so well when they don't even need to make a story or try to make it all have sense in any capacity. It's just randomness, and I love it. But in the last 5 minutes, something changes. The family memories begin to have loving, wholesome endings, and it's just an extremely and sweet and cute. And it's my favorite moment of the show. It's just solar opposites loving each other, showing just niceness to one another, really showing that even after all these fights, they just still love each other and they're still a family. And it's also this very cute, wonderful, beautiful song. And then there's this shot of all the drawings people did depicting them as one wonderful family. It's extremely cute. I love this sequence. It's such a wonderful episode, dude. Episode 9 is the other one that I really liked. I was anticipating them finally abandoning the mission since like season 2 and just letting them live their life on Earth. And I'm glad that it finally happened. And I'm glad that every one of them got their own purpose on Earth and their own career. It was very nice. And I'll talk about the finale in the later part of the video. For now, let's leave it as it is. This season was still great, funny, and awesome. I think serialization of it was pretty interesting, and I love the VR chest episode, though I still wish that Jessie did anything ever in the show, because we ended the show with not much episodes about her, or actually like no episodes about her, but whatever. This season was still great, and now let's see the most beloved part of the show, the wall. Was this season better than all the previous wall seasons? No. But would I call it bad? Actually, yeah. The setup for this plot is kinda cool. They finally tried to be big again, cause they haven't really done that since ever. Actually, they never done that. And it's kinda cool they embark on a quest to get the shrink ray. But what I don't like is that only one episode is about that concept. Yeah, there's like 4 episodes of The Wall, which is pretty small, and like most of them are just wasting their time just doing stupid filler that doesn't really affect the final episode at all. First episode it had so much filler, and the plot of it was just so fucking stupid. Same goes to the second episode. It feels like they made everyone an idiot for no reason other than to create conflict. Then, you know, at the end of episode 2, they finally set up the conflict for the season. So like half the season in, they set it up just so fucking late. And when you think that episode 3 would expand on it, it doesn't. It's just an episode about the Duke accepting his past, which they do in a very boring and generic way. But they keep doing obnoxious jokes about how unoriginal this is, so I guess that makes it okay. It doesn't. It's annoying.
Stupid subconscious metaphor dreams. That's so on the nose. Come on, take some creative risks.
Episode 4 is the only one that fully takes place in the Wall and is the finale of the entire Wall saga. And while it's entertaining for the most part, the ending of it just fucking sucks. Okay, so they blackmail Yamulag by threatening him they will release his tickle fetish videos to the public if it doesn't do everything they tell them to, which I might add is an extremely disappointing way to resolve the entire show's conflict. It feels very out of place with how serious the whole plot was, so having tickle porn save the day is just kind of fucking lame and doesn't fit the tone at all, and it isn't that funny. It's just stupid, but whatever. So they tell Yamulag to turn them back to normal size, but then it turns out that Cherry's daughter Paisley cannot be turned huge because she was born as a small person, so the main team decided that because of that they won't tell anyone they can be turned back to normal. What? This is just a selfish move that doesn't even feel earned at all for these characters. It is just a disappointing finale, man. Damn! They should have at least give people the choice to live they don't even benefit from this in any way. Why the fuck did they do that? It just feels like a lazy way for the writers having the status quo intact, which doesn't make sense. It's the last fucking season. Just let them live. Then they decide they will blackmail Yamulek still to give the world better resources like water and food, and get this. It jumps like 90 years into the future where the world is fucking destroyed and everyone is dead except few small people living in a trench, where some kid asks how the world came to be like that, and a grown-up Grandma Paisley tells the kid's story how it came to be like that, because Cherry asked for clean water and healthy food, and somehow it resolves in fucking this, and the episode ends before Paisley starts explaining the story. Okay, that was fucking stupid. Sure, the music and acting was still great, and all, but this season just felt very dumb and all over the place. Like, it was wasting so much precious time, and had a super rushed and stupid ending. It really did feel like the writers weren't expecting how to end the subplot, but they had to, knowing the show is ending, so they just made up stupid bullshit to end it. And it's just a very disappointing ending to the show, to what otherwise has been the most consistently excellent and beloved part of the show. It truly sucks to see that it ends this way after 5 wonderful seasons, but whatever. Anyways, let's talk about the Silver Cups. They don't fucking appear till the end of the season for some reason? Yeah, there are no mentions of the Silver Cups for almost entirety of the season. What the fuck? Why? It's just such a bizarre decision, but the finale is centered around the Silver Cups and mixing their finale with the Solar Opposites finale, which is very cool. At the end of the 9th episode, there was a signal sent into the Silver Cups base, informing about how Solars abandoned the mission, which Silver Cups can't allow to happen. So they must go on in the space to Earth to not allow this to happen, while Glenn is a rat for Gold Cups, secretly working for them and pretending to be a Silver Cups. And Silver Cups are bad guys, Gold guys are good, I don't know, man. So after that, it's finally time to talk about the finale, and thankfully, it's pretty good. It's a pretty satisfying end. The first half it or so, it's just Silver Cups slowly approaching Earth and sending signals, trying to turn Pupa into a monster to kill the Solars. So like, if they can use the Pupa to kill them, why are they going to Earth? Whatever, the plan fails anyway, so they need to go to Earth anyway. The part with Pupa turning into different monsters and Solars doing different things to stop him was very fun, and felt like it was celebrating the show a little bit, with them showing the loving part of the family again, and having a return of the Red Gobbler, and one of the final Hulu references. It wouldn't be a Solar season without it, but I think it gets really good when Silver Cups come to Earth, finally revealing that they are behind everything and stuff, and they were the creators of the mission and the Schlorpians in the first place, and that they were using them to terraform planets so they can, you know, blow them up with asteroids and collect their resources. That was a cool reveal, and it didn't really feel too much out of nowhere, because it was foreshadowed in like season 3 or so. Then Glenn calls the Golden Cops, and they arrest Silver Cops, and they all save the day. Glenn forgives Solars, and every character gets an epilogue. Yamulek and Jesse went to college, Terry is a movie director, and Corvo travels the galaxy and tells different Schlorpians that they don't need to terraform planets anymore, and everyone lives happily ever after. So that was Solar Opposites. But I do think this season has some issues, like the world being stupid as fuck, and Silver Cup's ending was a little rushed, with being just 1 episode long. I still think it was a pretty good season of television with some creative, funny, and weirdly sweet episodes. I'm really gonna miss this show. It was really funny, and it feels like it moved away from being compared to Rick and Morty and has finally found itself a little fandom online. But in today's world, 6 seasons and 63 episodes isn't bad at all for a cartoon. But you know, I always wished that it would surpass Rick and Morty in this episode one day, which was very dumb for me to assume. 100 more years of Rick and Morty, Morty. 100 years. 100 years. 100 years. 100 years. I'm sexually attracted to Charlie Smiling Friend.